Faker Shuffle. At the World's Final in 2017, SSG Ruler made an enemy out of Faker. In the last game of the Grand Finals, he flash ulted him, and off this catch, SSG won the game and by extension the World Championships. So once Faker came face to face with Ruler at Worlds again, now playing for JDG in 2023, it's fair to say that he had unfinished business. In the pivotal third game of the series, Ruler steps up too far trying to get in range for a Q. He's well in front of the support who can peel for him, and the Wukong who can block for him. He's out of position, and Faker knows it. Missing doesn't have ult, so all he can do is slow Faker with a volley and watch in horror as the Demon King Shurima shuffles, predicts the flash with his own, and ults Ruler back into the oncoming Rel ult, sentencing him to death. Aatrox cleans up what's left of the Darkin Archer, getting a reset on his ult. Renata's ult preserves the backline perfectly, with some well-timed stopwatches, and Renata revives. And for one small misposition from Ruler, T1 clean the fight 5-0. They take the game, and Faker takes his revenge. The Baron fight force. It's Game 5 of Spring Playoffs in 2023. T1 has a habit of building comps that are really hard to walk into. In this game, they've got Xayah Feathers, Gragas Barrels, a Gnar ult, and a follow-up Wukong ult to boot. And on the flip side, KT's comp relies heavily on range and poke, and needs time to set that up with the Lethality Varus and a Fed Jace. T1 sees KT setting up vision in their bot side jungle, ready for Drake, something most professional teams only really do before resetting and moving to Dragon, something KT also wants since it'll put them on sole point. And with this sort of vision and tempo advantage, T1 have zero chance of challenging that Drake successfully. So instead of losing Drake, they flip the script entirely and decide to move to Baron, knowing the enemy team will either be bot side or resetting. At 4k HP, Xin goes in as a disruption and uses Crescent Guard so he takes no damage, generating time for Talia and Jace to join the fight, but it's all for nothing. BDD flies in on the wall, misses his entire combo on Zeus, while the QE from Jace gets blocked by the Wukong clone. So already both KT's carries have missed their damage combos. As Zeus is turning into Mega Gnar, Faker walks from mid lane on the flank. He E-flashes onto Jace, giving him no time to react or flash out himself. Rakan follows up with his own flash ult knock-up, and Faker keeps the chain going with an explosive cast, pushing him closer to the wall. Wukong immediately catches him with a flash ult of his own, and Zeus flashes, leaping into range, and slams Keen into the wall to finish off the CC chain, making it child's play for Gumayusi to claim the kill. With their main damage threat completely wiped, they clean up the rest of the team with ease. Faker just solo kills the Varus like he's made of paper. The Grand Finals turn. After a short skirmish in the river, Gumayusi was picked off by Jax just a moment before, and Kerry is mopped up by Ahri just afterwards. Bear in mind that this is final game of Worlds 2025. Literally everything is on the line right now, and T1 just lost a fight with Baron up and are left in a 3v4 without a lot of hope. But Finals nerds goes both ways. Bin gambles his TP, expecting T1 to push into the river toward Baron, and the rest of BLG aggressively march forward, trying to force them into him. Thing is, they're blinded by the thought of winning the World Finals and overstep. Faker flashes forward with a taunt onto both Jarvan and Ahri. Xin flies in with an E and knocks up the Ahri with the third part of his Q he just prepped on the wave, which Faker copies with a Justice Punch, and Zeus follows up with a flash body slam. So even though it was a 3v4, one of BLG's carries didn't even get a point of damage out because of the coordinated CC chain T1 unveiled, and Bin wasn't even there because he was thinking too far into the future. When Bin does finally arrive, Faker being Faker, he walks slightly away from Oner to ult, so if Jax jumped onto either one of them, he doesn't stun both of them. But instead, his target is Zeus, who Zhonya's immediately, countering the counter-strike. That Galio ult then forces Jax to Zhonya's as well, allowing Oner to clean up Jarvan as he walks away, giving the rest of T1 the space to eviscerate Jax, turning a 3v4 into a 3v1, chasing down Elk to win the remainder of the fight without losing a single member. A final game clutch that earns them Baron and eventually the World Championship title off the advantage they gained from this very fight. The Elder Fight Force. T1's in a dire situation right now. RNG has sold, the enemy Silas is at the gate, split pushing top inhib turret whilst the rest of RNG attempt to take Elder for free. So T1 says to themselves, we could challenge the split push, take the kill and maybe take the Baron, but RNG takes the Elder and off it probably takes the game. So the inhib, we're flipping the Elder instead. Once again, T1 has the perfect walk-into-me team. Jace can pepper the enemy with poke from a distance, Xayah lays down feather traps with an ultimate that makes her unengageable, Renata has the best disengage spell in the game, and Viego lives for moments where the enemy put themselves out of position and make it easier for him to get a reset. All the while, Faker sits on the flank, waiting for half the team to challenge the objective, giving him uncontested access to the backline. So T1 starts the Drake. Silas is forced to TP away from his perfect split push position dive into the fight. As expected, Umayusi dodges both the Sejuani ult and the Nautilus anchor, which hits Carrier instead, pulling him right into the center of T1's team. But Renata's already been channeling hostile takeover, which steamrolls over all 5 members of RNG, turning their damage on themselves and perfectly distracting them from Faker's dive into the backline. Ming flashes out to prevent possession, but Sejuani dies instead, melted due to her lack of aftershock and passive. Meanwhile, Faker's been holding Kai'Sa in the backline, preventing her from dealing any damage and delaying Silas's entrance to the fight. So as Nort flashes out of the danger, he arrives at the tip of Akali's daggers just in time to watch his ADC be one-shot before being dissected himself. And from there, they clean the rest of the team, take Elder, and follow up with Baron. This doesn't win them the game outright, but it's the turning point that enables them to get back into the driving seat and eventually take the Nexus. The Wombo combo. T1's most famous comeback is definitely from Worlds 2017. It's 28 minutes into the game, T1 are down 10k gold against JDG and are losing so badly they don't even have a single kill yet. In what is probably the greatest Wombo combo in the history of League of Legends, EDG group clearing the mid wave, but Rakan and Jarvan are set up in a pinked brush on the flank, waiting for the sheep to hurt themselves. Wolf flashes, ults, and uses Grand Entrance on 3 members of JDG, whilst Huni flashes forward to try and silence any escapes. Xayah uses her ult as Twitch opens up, and Faker passes the ball to Rakan, before the mother of all shockwaves pulls everyone but Xayah perfectly into the line of Peanut's flash, flag, and drag, and Huni's rupture. At this point, everyone's perfectly grouped for max DPS out of the spray and pray and the AoE autos from Cho'Gath, with Rumble's Zhonya's dodging most of the damage. Jarvan ults after the Zion Rek'Sai, locking them into a pen they now cannot flash out of, and from here it's an easy clean for the rest of T1, with Rumble narrowly escaping in the chaos. It is literally this fight that becomes the turning point in this game, with T1 eventually clawing back the gold lead right as they're about to take the Nexus. Riot actually asked us to make this video celebrating T1's esports performance over the years, to find out what you think of the new T1 skins on sale now. So let us know in the comments which skin you think is the best, and as always, good luck and have fun.